Hi YouTube. So I'm making two videos today, and because I've received a lot of questions from you guys that I wanted to adequately answer for you guys. So anyways, the questions, basically I just made a video about the difference between, or just the discussion, I guess, between poltergeist activity and demonic activity. And a lot of you have asked, like, how do you know it's a demon and things like that. First of all, I also want to address this. People send me YouTube messages with like scripture, like the size of biblical text of scripture. I want you guys to know, I do not go and conjure spirits. I have families that are reaching out for help, and I help them, and I remove demonic entities and human spirits alike, and I help them cross over or kick out demonic entities. That's what I do. I don't just go roaming around conjuring spirits and meddling with the occult. So thank you for your concern. I appreciate that. I am a reverend. I do know what I'm doing. I've done this for a long, long time, even though I look young. Hopefully I still look young now. But I have done this for a long time. And I just can't explain some of the dark stuff that we've dealt with. And I do know that there's dark things out there. And that's what I deal with. And I think that's one of the best ways to serve God, Great Spirit, Allah, whomever, is by like fighting off the bad guys. You know, like that's how I look at it as enemies, you know. So characteristics that we look for when we're dealing with a demonic case or there's suspicion of it being demonic. Typically, the families have been dealing with it actually for a long time. Sometimes the cases we've dealt with have, the demons been present in their family's household for like 10 years, 15 years, because it started off as something like innocent, or sometimes it starts off dramatic. It really depends. And then it gets worse as it goes on. A lot of the times, families will have something going on that it cause emotional drifts between them, and that's your job to get down to the bottom of it. I think you really should have a great background in psychology. I studied psychology for almost 3 years, especially abnormal psychology, and so I think you really should have good skills with counseling people, because you're going to deal with some really messed up stuff that we have, and I've talked about some of the cases where the family was raped, horrible things like that. And so you can watch other previous videos to kind of get ideas of what I'm talking about. Usually there is substance abuse. These are just the characteristics of when a demon is typically somehow attracted to the situation or the problem that the family is going through. Substance abuse, sexual abuse, domestic violence, alcoholism, things like that. Mental illnesses, depression, anxiety, things like that. Anything where there's like a negative energy, there's disharmony, demonic entities seem to thrive off. They feed off negative energy. So if the family's providing them with this energy to feed off of, it's like a buffet. Why not pester this family? Why not prey on them and feed off them? The spirit only kind of appears to some people. And then say like the father isn't experiencing something like that. That lack of experience from the father or whomever causes a distrust between the family members, and dad thinks like you're all crazy, and it starts to cause fights. It breaks up the relationship and harmony in a family, and demons' objectives basically are to break down you emotionally, financially, health-wise, and to break down your relationships and isolate you. You are more vulnerable that way. Sometimes the spirit or demon will cause fights. You'll notice that, you know, like say siblings are borrowing a shirt or something like that, and they fought over it before, like one sister borrows from the other sister, didn't ask. So the shirt just appears in the other sister's room. And so sister one is just talking to sister two, being like, you know, why did you take my shirt? Blah, 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 blah. And just starting fights when clearly the second sister did not take that shirt. It just happened to appear there. But they don't know that. So they're starting this fight. And they feed off negative energy. Another thing is there'll be like sacrilegious actions. And this isn't always true. It's not always that powerful. But say, for example, the family puts up a crucifix or a cross or pictures of Jesus or some religious item, and it reacts to it. It doesn't like it. It flares up. Activity starts increasing. Things like that. That should be a big signature that, hey, you might be dealing with something darker and evil here. Violence, huge big thing. Human spirits really aren't capable, from what we've experienced, although we've experienced some powerful, strong human spirits, but they usually aren't as strong as demonic activity. You're getting scratches, you're getting bite marks, you're getting choked, rapings. We've had families where the whole family, including their own like 13-year-old girl, is being raped by this thing. There's a telepathic element. you can say something and it does it. Things like that, if that makes any sense. We've dealt with a family that had a sexual relationship with this demon. They thought it was innocent at first, and in their minds, they'd be like, go do this to me. And it would do it. And it bonded this relationship together and made it really hard to get rid of this thing. So sacrilegious stuff to violence, choking, smells. You're going to smell like sulfur, burning plastic smells, just nasty ass smells. Sounds. Growling, hissing, pig sounds, wolf howling, like dog sounds, heavy breathing, evil sounds, just evil voices, like like you should feel it. When you show up to the house or when you start to begin dealing with this case, notice if stuff starts happening at your house, if you're an investigator. In the previous video I just made, I talked about that too. We have demons come to our house trying to scare us off and prevent us from doing a cleansing that's upcoming in the future, and we never back down, but I always kick it out of our house. And my house is blessed and protected, but these things are tenacious, these things are intelligent, they do have a power, and they're going to try to scare you off. That's what they're going to try to do. And so if you want to hear my story about what happened most recently, you can watch the previous video from here. And other stuff too. So basically, we've helped families and do cleansings before, but it is so essential that you really do take time to counsel, figure out what's going on, make sure that everyone is communicating openly, sharing all their experiences together, and it's just a really difficult and tough thing to deal with sometimes because, oops, sorry, I just clicked this down, and it's scary, like you shouldn't, your face shouldn't be shaken or anything like that, but they can startle you, guaranteed. Like when something flies out of the cupboard or whatever, it does scare you and it startles you, so you can't really help from that. So those are just some of the things to look for with demonic activity. Sometimes we've had it where people brought in an antique and something was attached to it. Sometimes people meddle with the occult. I don't think if you read daily horoscopes, you're going to hell and it's something horrible. I think if you put something like horoscopes or whatever above God, and you have more faith in it than you do God, then it's a problem. Keep in mind, the 3 wise men were astrologers, so I don't think it's something evil. God created the universe in astrology, basically, and I don't think it's harmful, but don't put anything above God, Same with, like, the Ouija board. You should always use protection. I don't use Ouija boards. I don't think they're safe. If you're going to use it, use protections. Use a protection prayer before and after. Say that only bright white light energies and angels and good spirits can come through, nothing negative or dark. And make sure you do a closing ceremony thing too. Just be safe, be careful. It's like a hotline. You're dialing numbers, you have no idea who's going to answer, and eventually if you keep messing with it, you're going to get something darker because they love opportunities of being welcomed in. And sometimes they'll show up as something innocent and lie on the Ouija board, be like, my name's David, and like play mind games, and then it's in your house, and like, oh, I like David though, David should stay. No. And it gets worse, and then you see the darker side of it. Nightmares. What other crazy stuff too? I don't even know. Anything you can honestly say, we've probably seen it. It's been crazy dealing with this. But this is something we specialize in. It's what I feel is a priority compared to somebody who's dealing with just like a regular haunting. Not that that's not scary to deal with, but with our services, we deal with the highest priority cases in which they're severe. And in the last video I just did, I forgot to mention the woman's face. It lifted it up off her feet and slammed her down onto the marble hallway that she had and knocked out all her front teeth. She had to get stitches and everything done too. And it just started becoming violent, and that's when they finally got fed up with it. We're like, we need to get rid of this. So I'm glad that they did that. But anyways, so YouTube, that's just the stuff to kind of start to recognize maybe you're dealing with something darker. Very intelligent, just be careful. Say your prayers, protect yourself, and don't do anything stupid. Don't like conjure up spirits. It's not smart, I believe there's smart ways to do spirit communication, but you have to be careful. You have to be so careful, and don't be under the substance of whatever while you're doing that. It's just dumb. Anyways, if you're interested in doing and getting rid of demonic entities or regular haunting and you just want to cleanse your house, go on to www.etsy.com. It's etsy.com/the willow's notch, as in the willow tree and a notch in a tree. The willow's notch. I sell a DVD on how to do a accurate and really thorough house cleansing. And make sure you follow all the steps. You have to smudge and cleanse every single part of the home and follow everything else with the other items that I provide you with and talk about. Anyways, good luck, you guys. Stay safe this paranormal season with Halloween, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.